Have you ever wondered why some coaches or business owners out there are killing it in their industry and all you see on their social media is their face, their brand, their business name? Here's something they're not telling you, and you probably already know it. These successful businesses are not run by one single person. No, that would be impossible, right? Because here's the secret. They have a team. Today, I will spill these influencers and business gurus' secrets, but I don't have to tell you that because it's actually the worst kept secret in the first place. Now, before we move on, here's a fun fact. When you click the subscribe button, it makes a funny sound. Give it a try. I dare ya. Okay, moving on. So yeah, they have a team. If these businesses are digital or online based, then they will likely have a virtual assistant who is living in a different state or a different country who is doing tasks on their behalf. So for any business to stay sustainable, there has to be a strong and established team behind it. I know this for a fact because being a virtual assistant myself, I've happily been the backstage crew for my clients. And it's a great gig if you ask me. So for you, you're a business owner who's trying to grow in the digital sphere, imagine having a business secret weapon right at your fingertips. A sidekick who doesn't wear a cape but wields a keyboard like a superhero's shield. That's what a virtual assistant or a VA can become for your business. And as promised in last week's video, I'm going to show you how to supercharge your VA's talent and time, turning them into a productivity addict, task-devouring, and decision-making machine that's practically your clone. Because why not? Why can you not have a clone, right? You see, the secret sauce of transforming your VA into a business secret weapon lies in your leadership, your communication skills, and the ability to empower your VA to tackle challenges head on. Here are some tips I'd like to share that I was able to collect in more than 20 years of being a freelancer, virtual assistant, and consultant to solo entrepreneurs. So first up is becoming an effective leader. Before you can expect your VA to rise to the occasion, you need to be an effective leader who also rises to the occasion. So how do you do that exactly? Number one, simple. Lead by example. All you have to do is to start by leading by example. Show your VA what you expect by doing it yourself. And when they see you tackling tasks efficiently, it sets the standard for excellence. Wow. And when you say you'll do something, stand by your word. When your virtual assistant sees consistency in you, they will follow suit. So set the standard high for yourself so that you can demand the same from your virtual assistant or your team. Number two, set clear goals. Effective leaders set clear goals for their team. So make sure your VA understands the objectives of the business and their role in achieving them. It's like giving them a treasure map for success, because if you just drop tasks on their lap without telling them what it's for or how this particular project will contribute to your business's growth, it's like they're trying to shoot a target blindfolded. So you give your VA a weapon. I mean, your VA knows that they already have a bow and arrow and they know that they have to shoot. But what exactly are they shooting at? This is where your leadership comes in. Sell them your goals. Make them excited to fulfill it with you. And when you're able to plant excitement in your VA or your team, you, my friend, will have effectively supercharged the people pushing your business forward. Next up is provide constructive feedback. Just like any mentor, providing constructive feedback is extremely needed. If your VA makes a mistake, don't just point it out. Offer guidance on how to improve, because remember, it's a learning opportunity. In fact, in my own team, when someone makes mistakes, we often use it as a case study. We ask ourselves, how can we prevent this incident from happening again? What could we have done better? How can I support you, my virtual assistant, to implement the preventive measures? What do you need from me as your leader or your client? And as soon as you ask these questions to your VA when you're serving them constructive feedback too, you are essentially becoming a coach. Nice. Because let's face it, even you can't solve all your business problems. Who wants to bear the burden of solving all the problems at hand, right? Besides, you hired a virtual assistant who is a person, a human being with amazing talents and ideas. Use that in this situation. Let your VA help solve the issue and install preventive measures so that the same mistake won't happen again. Next up is mastering communication. So communication, it is the lifeblood of a successful partnership with your VA. Effective communication ensures everyone is on the same page and working towards common goals. So if you don't communicate, your team dies. Your team, your virtual assistant, needs you to be visible Observe in any battle movie out there, before the epic scene where the army charges into the final fight, doesn't the leader make a big speech? That's what you should do for your team too. Be visible and communicate with your team. Show them that you are there for them and that you are able to support them to help push your business forward. But how exactly do you do this? Well, first, you need to open channels of communication. You need to maintain open channels of communication with your virtual assistant or your team. Whether it's via email, chat, or regular video calls, make yourself accessible and be their go-to person when they need guidance. Or if you are super busy and can't answer all the concerns, find a business manager who will be the go-to person for your virtual assistants or team members. That person can act as the COO while you can do your CEO duties. Sometimes you need to call in an administrator who has ace-level communication skills to keep your team in check. Take note, you will have to be super communicative with your COO or your business manager too, because you want the same message to be echoed to the rest of your team. Next, and this is super important, clarity in instructions. The ability to give clear instructions is crucial. So imagine explaining how you want your steak cooked at a restaurant. It's the same concept. Your VA needs precise, concise instructions to execute tasks flawlessly. When you give them vague instructions because you don't have the time or the energy to actually prepare the steps for your VA to follow, well, that's understandable because you are a very busy business owner, but at least communicate what you want with the goal to help your VA succeed in the task. Take note, though, that if the task is done wrong, don't ever throw a tantrum and call your virtual assistant names their mom would never call them. This is just bad form, dude. Come on. Don't do that. What you can do instead is review your instructions and how you communicate with them. Perhaps there's something you're missing, or it could be that creating instructions or step-by-step guides, well, maybe it isn't your thing, which is totally okay. And this is where hiring an administrator or outsourced business manager can come in handy. If you have a hard time and no patience to create instructions for your VA, find and hire someone who can do it and someone who loves doing it. Next is onboarding and training. When your VA comes on board, invest time in onboarding and training them. Provide them with the necessary resources and guidelines. So think of it as equipping your sidekick with the right tools and skills. I know this is easier said than done because you know how busy you are. Now you have to train someone too. Well, if you think about it, the time you spend in training your VA is an investment because once your VA becomes fully onboarded, when they know what to do and how to do their tasks, you're actually going to turn your VA into a revenue generator. They'll be taking care of tasks that you are doing now. These are the kinds of tasks that are making you money, right? By having a VA whom you can pay a decent wage, who will turn the wheels in your business, that person will become an asset to your company. Now, get this. Once your VA becomes fully trained and you see your business grow, you will likely find yourself in a position where you will want to hire another virtual assistant. So question, will you now have to spend time training the second virtual assistant too? Of course not. This is now the time for you to delegate the training to your first VA. Then as your team grows, you can delegate to the older VAs the task of training the newer ones. This is how you expand your business by exponentially growing your team without having to always be there to do the training yourself. Finally, when you've accomplished all of the above, we need to think about nurturing decision-making skills for your virtual assistant. Let's say you already had your VA onboarded and they are already functioning as expected. And as business operations run smoothly, they're working smoothly too. But what if something goes wrong? Who decides what to do and how to fix the issue? This is actually an aha moment for me when things wouldn't go as planned, because the minute things go wrong, I usually stepped in to fix the problem myself. By doing so, I'm actually robbing my team the chance to prove themselves. And that's not fair. I should be the mentor, the coach, the leader, right? So if I fix all the problems whenever they arise, I'm micromanaging, and that's not a good thing. So whenever things went wrong, I committed to use those incidents to train my team members to become better decision makers. The way it works is that when an incident occurs and I'm not there to make a judgment call, but my team knows they need to take action to either save an account, fix an automation issue, or respond to a client inquiry. My team knows that I have a schedule when I log in, when I log out. They are aware of my usual activities. So when consults come up, I might not get to them fast enough to make the judgment call. Because of this, we agreed that they would drop an item on my desk to let me know that they encountered a problem and they have proposed solutions. And if by or before a certain date or time of the day pass, they would opt to solve it themselves if they don't hear from me.
Nice.
And I would get messages from my team saying, like, Lisa, a client asked if we can do ABC, but we are only legally allowed to do XYZ. After a huddle with the concerned team members, we thought the best solution would be to do 1, 2, 3 on ABC instead of XYZ. We hope you're cool with this solution. And if we don't hear back from you by or before 3 p.m. today, we'll take action as suggested. See what happened? I essentially turned my team members into problem solvers. And as soon as they spot a problem, they dive into solution mode. And because they still respected my role, they gave me a heads up of what they plan to do. They gave me a number of hours, like a window for me to make corrections or tweak their suggested solution. This way, I also get pushed to reply in a timely manner, because if they don't set a deadline, that problem will stay unsolved until I actually get my butt to the table and be the one to solve it. However, with this strategy, that my team suggests a solution, they give me a deadline to respond, and if they don't hear back from me, they take action. This effectively eliminates the bottleneck named Lisa. Okay? Because let's face it, when you become a business owner and your team grows, you are likely the one standing in your own way. You're procrastinating on making decisions or approving certain items on your docket. So far, this strategy is working for our team. So maybe you can give it a try on your organization too. Ask your team to give you a deadline so that you, as the founder, leader, or CEO, is also kept on your toes to set the speed of how fast your organization can resolve things. Let me know how it turns out, or if you have a better suggestion how to handle problems. But bottom line is that our team found a way to use problems, use complaints or incidents as learning opportunities to make decisions and to improve their decision-making skills. And if you can help it, don't jump in to be the hero to solve the problem. Use those solutions to train your team to make a good judgment call under your guidance. The more you apply the tips I mentioned, the lesser your team will need you. And that's a good thing, because when you spend less time being directly involved in the operations of your business, when the operations can't run without you being there, you're also admitting that you're not able to scale your business. And that's not something a CEO would settle for, right? Because this is why you need to commit to actively taking steps to supercharging your virtual assistant. Remember, you're evolving into a CEO, a leader who's responsible for your team's growth and success. So embrace the fact that hiring a virtual assistant means taking responsibility for their well-being and livelihood. Pay them on time and maintain financial stability in your working relationship. No complaints, only solutions. Adopt a CEO mindset. And instead of complaining about your VA's mistakes, focus on finding solutions and guiding them to improve. Leave the tantrums at the door. Be a leader. Take charge and be the boss that you never had and always wanted. That's how you supercharge your virtual assistant team. Now, since you watched all the way to the end of this video, I'm sure you're going to like this next video right here. Watch it and learn from it and delegate like a boss already. You should have scaled your business like yesterday. Come on.